Hey everybody, how's it going? Today I'd like to discuss a video that I did a few weeks ago on a violation that my repair shop received in New York City. The violation said that I did not enter a record into the Leads Online database for two laptops that I had for sale in the store that I had purchased from a customer. The reason that I don't have a Leads Online record is that you're supposed to post records to Leads Online, including the ID of the person you bought it from, when you purchase a device from a customer. And these two devices were not purchased from customers. No money changed hands. The reason that I was able to obtain these two devices are because two customers left them here and never picked them up. Anybody that has had a repair shop for any period of time knows that there are many customers that just ignore your phone calls, ignore your text messages, ignore your emails, and never pick up the device. Or if you give them an estimate and it's a really old device, they'll just say, it's not worth getting fixed, so I'm just never going to get back to them. And that was the case with these two machines. We had records in our repair shop or CRM system of us text messaging, calling, and emailing these customers to try to get them to pick up, and they never did. Our policy is that after 45 days that the device becomes ours and the customer signs this prior to any repair work being done. And we don't throw things away on day 45. We often keep it past day 90, 180, sometimes even a year or two, because we know that people get busy, things happen, emails go to spam, phone calls get ignored if you're busy, so we want to give people a chance to pick it up. Most of our business is repairs, not selling devices. So we have these two machines in the front that we did not purchase. They were recycled because the customer never picked it up. We explained this to the inspector and we offer to show them the records in our system that demonstrate that these two machines were left here by people that never answered us and never answered our email. And he goes outside, makes a phone call, comes back in, gives us a violation. It was very obvious at this point that he had no interest in reality, no interest in viewing our records, and no interest in the actual law. He just wanted to get us for something. The reason I say that is because he was also about to write a second violation saying you have to label that these are used and refurbished if they're used and refurbished. And he started writing the violation. At the point that he started to write the violation, Steve points to a large Dymo label that is on the palm rest of the laptop in size 72 font, bold, all caps, that says used and refurbished. At that point, the inspector then went, oh, realizing that, I can only go so far with this BS. So many of you have suggested that what I do is I try to call the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs to figure out what the law is, rather than call up and argue and, say, why'd you give me a fine? This is unfair. Ah. What if I just called them and said, hey, what am I supposed to do in this situation? A customer dropped off a device. They never answered us. They never answered our phone calls, emails, or text messages long after the recycling date, and we want to sell that device. Now, I know we're supposed to put this in the Leads Online system when we purchase it from a customer, but this is not a purchase. It's an abandoned item. What am I supposed to do? What is my responsibility to the law, to the city, and to the customer? And I figured I would just play you what that was like. So here is a phone call recording of me calling the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs, attempting to get a straight answer.
Thank you for calling 311. My name is Jonathan. Can I help you come out to the Department of Consumer Affairs?
Yeah, I have an electronics and home appliance service dealer license, and I just had a few questions to make sure that I'm in compliance.
What license do you have, sir?
Electronics and home appliance service dealer.
Electronic and...
electronics and home appliance service dealer.
Home appliance service dealer license.
Yes.
All right, give me a moment.
Take your time.
Okay. Okay, what is your question?
So I have customers that sometimes will leave things at my store, but they will never come back for them. So I will call them, I email them, I text message them, and after 6 or 8 or 10 months of not hearing back, I recycle the device because I can't get in contact with them. Now, now we also have a second-hand dealer license, an electronics store license. So what we'll do is we will sell the device if they don't pick it up after a long period of time. My question is, I know that if we're buying a device from a customer, that we need to enter their information in the Leads Online database. However, if there's no purchase because the device was recycled, what do I do? What is my responsibility there? So let's say I did not purchase the device from the customer. They just left it here. They never picked it up, and they won't answer my phone calls or text messages or emails. Does that have to get entered into the Leads Online database, or how does that work?
Well, I don't necessarily have the information for you to answer your questions. All right. I mean, you can speak to the Department of Consumer Affairs. They are available until 4 o'clock.
Yeah, if there's anybody to transfer me to, I'd be happy to explain to them so I can get an idea. I just want to make
Okay.
sure I'm doing the right thing.
Yeah.
So would it be you that I speak to, or somebody else, or is there a different number I should call?
Well, no. I'm saying that. I mean, licenses center. They are available until 4. But your question is
They,
more of like regarding the like a policy that that maybe you should have you have you could put up in the store, okay, to let customers know what happens when they purchase these devices or not. The the consequences and the guidelines of purchasing these prices for these items. Um yeah, but I can check you over to like license center, but I'm not sure if they are. Hold on. Yeah, I can check you over to the license center. They close at 4. What I'll say
okay,
is
thank you
this.
so much.
Hold on. I'll say this. If you have a customer that comes into your store, okay, and then they never even they purchase a thing, they purchase whatever they need to purchase, but they never pick it up, and you're calling them for a long period of time, maybe several weeks or several months, and then they never show up again, then you have to do what you have to do with the device. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're not paying us, so
Yeah.
they bring it to us and say how much is it to repair it. We don't charge them. We call them to tell them what it costs to repair it, and then they just never show up ever again, and they ignore us and our calls. So I know that you're supposed to enter this into the Leads Online system. If I buy a device from a customer, if someone comes in and says I want to sell you my laptop, I have to enter that into Leads Online that I bought it. What I'm curious
Okay.
about is what do I do with these recycled ones? Do these recycled ones also go into Leads Online, or do I
You
not
said
have to put those
recyclables?
into Leads Online?
You said the recyclables?
Yeah, when people the machines that I recycle because the customer never comes to pick it up.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And if there's like a licensing department, I don't mind waiting on hold. I'm more than happy to wait on hold for an answer. I'm in no rush.
Okay. Yes, before they close, I'll just transfer you over to them now, okay?
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it, man.
No problem.
Have a nice day.
You too. Thank you for calling 311. Please hold for your transfer, and I have a good day and weekend.
All right, bye bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for calling DCA. How may I help you? Let's go.
Hi, how are you? So I have a license for an electronic and home appliance service dealer, and I had a question about how I'm supposed to handle a specific situation. Are you the person I can talk to about this?
Well, let me know the situation first.
Oh yeah, sure. So I have customers bring me devices for a free estimate, and then we'll call them with the estimate. Now sometimes, it's not a lot of the time, but sometimes they will never come to pick the device up. And I'll call them, I'll email them, I'll text message them, and after 6 or 8 months have passed, I'll finally recycle the device. Now I also have a secondhand electronics, a secondhand dealer license that allows me to sell things that are used. Now, I know that the rule is if I'm purchasing a device from a customer, I need to enter it into the Leads Online database. But what do I do with these devices that I didn't purchase from people, but that they abandoned and I can't get in touch with them? Like, do those also go into the Leads Online database before they get sold, or how do I work that out?
Let me give you the telephone number for enforcement, because that seems like an enforcement question, and I don't want to give.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I don't do the wrong thing.
Yeah. Let me give you the telephone number.
Okay, cool. What's the telephone number for that?
All right, let me find it for you. Give me 1 second.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I really appreciate it.
No problem. That's a good question, though.
Yeah, I want to make sure I don't do the wrong thing before.
So this is going to be the Business Compliance Council. This is the telephone number for pretty much like the legal team. So you might want to ask them. So let me know when you're ready, so I can give you the number.
Sure. What's the number?
212.
212.
436.
436.
0436.
0436. All right. So 212-436-0436.
Mm-hmm. I also have the email if you'd like the email as well.
The email would be great as well if you have that.
It's BCC
BCC
at DCA
at DCA
.nyc
.nyc
.gov.
Okay, so BCC at DCA.nyc.gov.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you so much for taking the time to give me this. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a great day.
All right, you too, man. Take care.
All right, bye-bye.
Hello, you have reached the Business Compliance Council line for the New York City Department of Consumer Affairs. Our department helps direct callers to the laws and rules under DCA's jurisdiction that apply to their businesses. If you have questions about license application requirements or the status of an application, please call 311 and ask to speak with DCA's licensing department. For a faster response, please send the detailed description of your question to bcc@dca.nyc.gov. Once again, that's bcc@dca.nyc.gov. If you do not have email access, please leave your name and number along with a detailed description of your question, and someone from our department will reach out to you. Thank you.
Record your message at the tone. When you are finished, hang up or press pound for more options.
Hi, my number is, I had a question about a procedure as an electronics and home appliance service dealer. So I have a license as an electronics and home appliance service dealer. I also have a license to be a secondhand dealer and an electronics store license. And I wanted to know the proper way to handle and log recycled devices. So if you could give me a call back at your convenience, I would highly appreciate it, or you can send me a text message. Thank you so much for taking the time. I hope you have a lovely day.
I imagine there's a chance that I get a response to this video since I have 1.5 million subscribers and I put this information out there. So maybe now I actually get a callback or a reply from my email. But at that point, I would still consider it completely invalid, null and void, just doesn't matter. Why? You can't issue a violation for a rule that you're not able to talk about at the time. You need to be able to vocalize or write down what the rule is. And then once you've written down what the rule is, then you can issue a violation if someone disobeys it. You cannot issue a violation and then after issuing the violation, then clarify and say, okay, here's what the rule is. That's not the way this works. That's not the way any of this is supposed to work. If you wish to issue a violation, you need to have the rule in place before, not after the violation. You cannot write up the rule to justify the violation after the fact. The second reason I would consider a reply at this point invalid is that I have a YouTube channel with over 1.5 million subscribers. Other businesses in New York City don't. Other businesses in New York City don't have the benefit of being able to go on a platform like this and speak to this many people when something that they consider corrupt or an injustice happens. So they're just going to take it. And I realize that this is probably a really stupid video for me to upload. I seek to run a business that fixes devices that we're not supposed to repair. I spend all my day trying to figure out how to work on stuff and find chips to stuff that I'm not supposed to be able to. And I spend my day trying to figure out how to make my customers happy. I don't spend my day reading through every single one of the 900 pages of regulations there are for these 3 different licenses. So I'm sure that if someone were to comb through my store and go through every single one of those regulations, I'm confident there's probably one of them that I'm actually in violation of, unlike this one. And I'm sure that by poking this hornet's nest and pointing out how ridiculous this whole system is, maybe somebody in there would want to retaliate and say, we'll show him by making my life difficult, by going through all those regulations and finding something to actually fine me for. It's probably a stupid idea to upload this video. But at the end of the day, that's always been the theme of the channel. 4.5 years ago, when Apple said, we want you to take down this video because it has a schematic in it and it shows a trade secret or intellectual property that we don't want to be public, I had a lawyer that said, you probably should just do it. They're not suing you. They could sue you, if they wanted to, but they're not doing that. And I thanked the attorney, and then I told Apple that if you want the video taken down, file a DMCA claim or sue me. Because when you do that, you'll have to make public the reason. We don't want this resistor that allows the machine to power the trackpad and keyboard. We don't want them to know where that is so that if it blows, they don't know how to fix it. I wanted them to say that publicly. It was a gamble. It was a risk I took at the time, and I think it was a good risk. It was standing up to a bully. And this is the same thing. Again, do most people probably just want to brush this under the table because they don't want to deal with a bully and they know that the bully could probably ruin them. But I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I did that. So it's probably really stupid for me to upload all of this. But at the same time, I think it's also something that more people that run businesses, whether large or small in New York City, need to do. They need to share how much of this process is corrupt. So Propel is a business that I recently did a video on, and I shared his video where he was fined something like over $20,000 for selling illegal electric bicycles, even though the law clearly states that this was not illegal. And he was able to get it removed, and then they came back again with the exact same thing, and then he had to go to court to fix it. I think it's good that businesses don't live in fear and that they speak about this. The more of us that speak up about these issues, the greater the likelihood is that the corruption ends and goes away. Even if we don't win in the short term, and I may not win in the short term, I may wind up with 20 more violations that total up more than what my business has in savings. But it'll be worth it to slowly push towards a future where there is less of this asinine corruption. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. That's it for today. And as always, I hope you learned something. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.